Good evening. Welcome to Front Page. Tonight, we are bringing you the insights about a 2-hour meeting in Delhi, which was not a spectacle or, for that matter, had any announcements. Just signatures on paper which bring gravitas. India and the UAE have signed a letter of intent formalizing a strategic defense partnership. And what, of course, you will hear in a lot of coverage will be about weapons and procurements. But that misses the point completely, because it isn't about buying equipment. Conversely, actually, it is about where it is being built. Let me, of course, now bring your attention to the target. $200 billion in bilateral trade by 2032, which is being touted as a mandate. India will bring the scale, UAE will bring the speed. But what is interesting is, as we know, is the fact that India needs energy security and UAE needs food security, opening the corridor to trade vulnerabilities for strength. They agreed on civil nuclear energy, smaller modular reactors, a benchmark which is, by the way, for clean power. They agreed on LNG, long-term security. They are locking that grade. But what is imperative is the defense architecture. Advanced manufacturing, cybersecurity, counter-terrorism. The Middle East is in a flux. West Asia is a powder keg. Global alliances, they're definitely breaking down. So in this chaos, the quest is actually to find anchors. This was President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed's third visit. Prime Minister Modi broke protocol. He went to the airport personally. Why? Because in the narrative war, images are statements, signaling to the world a crisis is not necessary to force alignment. They are locking in trust while the rest of the world is locking down the borders. The part which might get covered by some headlines, the so-called petro state. Well, let us not dwell too much on that. The UAE is more like actually a hedge fund with a flag. Fourth largest state investor in the world, $2.9 trillion in assets, bigger than Norway and chasing on the tails of China. They are projected to hit $4 trillion by 2030. And where is that money going? 35% of their capital is already in Asia. $13 billion dropped into AI and future tech in 2025 alone, making this patient geopolitical capital, which aspires to stabilize supply chains and wants to actually own the infrastructure as well. So let's talk about India. What about India? India is the new landing zone. So if you're watching this in Bangalore or Mumbai, why should you care? Here is why. Because of Dholera. The UAE is pouring sovereign cash into the Dholera special investment region. Airports, logistics, smart urban infrastructure. Actually, this is where the jobs of the next decade will get built. So please pay attention. They are actually funding the hardware of your future. Rail connectivity, energy grids, MRO hubs. The UAE definitely has the cash. We all know that. India has the land and the talent, which is amazing. It is actually the perfect merger. But to play this game, India has to deliver execution speed that matches UAE capital speed. So the point is, can the elephant dance to the falcon's tempo? I love the imagery. That, of course, is the trillion-dollar question. Defense is the headline. Technology is the subtext. AI governance, data infrastructure, energy compute, convergence. Why does this matter? Because looking at the US and China, India and the UAE realize something. They need no single point dependency, no technology chokeholds. No one turns off the switch. In the language of BRICS, this is how actually we build a multipolar system. Not with speeches, as clearly that has never helped, but with servers, with sensors and supply chains. They are now, of course, building a firewall against geopolitical blackmail. And here, as always, in conclusion, is the front page take. We believe this partnership reshapes India's West Asia posture. It takes defense and it takes it into the insides of the economics. It signals that India is no longer a swing state. India is a first choice strategic partner. And it proves one thing. Capital, when governed well, is the ultimate form of diplomacy. Quiet moves, but a massive impact. So we would like to ask you, would you like me to analyze the specific sectors inside the Dholera investment plan for your next segment? That's the question I'm asking you. If yes, please let us know in the comments below. But till then, think AI, think AIM.